And it's time for July edition of Planting Update, where you can see all the nothing that has happened in the past month. That one, I mean, there's something in there, but they're not really doing anything at this point. Corn is a failure in the soil. We knew it. Tomatoes. Lots of tomatoes. We are starting to get some ripening going on. Sorry if it sounds like I'm a little out of sorts. I'm a little bit tired. I was a little worried about this plant because it broke in a windstorm and we tied it back up, and it's making fruit, so it is what it is. Peppers and marigolds. This was one of the bins that we replanted and got absolutely nothing out of it. Cherokee purples and some, I don't know if those are travelers or mountain magics, but they're doing okay. This planter is doing all right. This planter is doing all right. You can see some Cherokee purples back there, and yeah, we had some really hot weather, and I made a mistake and I started over watering the tomatoes, and so we had a bunch of splits. But anyway, the damsels are still, they seem to be the only one that's really getting attacked by pests at this point. I can't recall the name of it offhand, but it's a caterpillar that we get here every year. But it's interesting to note that it seems to be only the damsels that are getting torn up. So I'm gonna stick by my idea that planting the marigolds in there really helped. Yeah, so you can see we made some mistakes while watering this year. So it's doing okay. So the pepper plant has turned into this, and every time I come out here and tell myself I'm going to prune it, I see more of these little guys, and I don't want to cut it back. But we are getting fruit off of this. This is another one of the beds that we replanted, and originally it had cabbage in it. And so far I've got almost nothing to germinate. We're 3 weeks in on some of these little tiny guys. I do plan on putting out another video to address the summer replanting and go over what I found. And then over here we replanted some beans, which are doing okay, and then the entire rest of this thing failed to germinate. We have harvested some of the carrots. The varieties that we planted don't seem to store well, so we're sort of keeping these alive here, and then if we plan on eating carrots or we're going to make something with carrots, we just come out and grab a carrot. Every time, the ones that we've pulled out, when we get maybe 12 hours on them and they go soft and floppy. So potatoes, I did go ahead and harvest one of the bags of potatoes. I kind of just wanted to make sure what was going on, and we had some really intense heat, so I was seeing some browning and some wilting, and it looked like maybe the potatoes were getting ready. Since I hadn't grown them before, I wasn't quite sure, and we did get potatoes out of them, but very, very small. And then the flower patch, and we are getting some small fruits on the mystery tomatoes that showed up out here, so I guess we'll see what those are. As far as the other food goes, we've harvested about 6 of those so far. That has worked out really well. So we're about halfway through that flock. We're going to finish those off and get them in the freezer, and then start planning for the next batch. So, short planning update, that's all I got.